Who the hell counts to 5 to do something?
SpongeBob, Johnny Bravo kicking by the beach bar. DJ making me.
I was just thinking I should have said 3, 2, 1.
Who the hell counts to 5? All right, on 5. By the time it gets to 4, you're like, Jesus, it's taking a while.
We're back.
We're back.
Welcome back to Bikini Bottom Inquirer.
Back on the air. Back on the wavelengths.
We're back for season 2.
Yeah.
And maybe this season we'll actually know what we're doing.
Don't put that much pressure on us.
As we were saying before we press play, I shave my face. I look horrible. Chester thinks he looks like Hassan Piker.
Where's my dog? Where's my dog?
Hold on, where's my dog? Hold on,
Where's my
let me
dog?
just
Where's my
reach
dog?
off screen real
Where's my
quick.
dog?
Where's my dog?
This is just my XLR connector up here.
So we are we the only Nickelodeon podcast? I don't know. I haven't really looked in.
I have done a little.
I mean,
there
there've been some in the past.
Nickelodeon themselves made a podcast, which was Wassen. But no, I don't think there are actually any substantial ones. There are none under the name Bikini Bottom or any connection to that.
We are the
I
only
don't think
Bikini Bottom.
Bikini Bottom.
The only one.
I don't think there are very many. Because we could have a new enemy of the show. There's SpongeBob SquarePants Nickelodeon, which is a bunch of bullshit. We did dive down Bikini official SpongeBob SquarePants companion podcast. Yeah, they haven't uploaded since 2020. Oh, Bikini Bottom Radio, a SpongeBob podcast. They haven't uploaded since 2018. We are the only. It's
People have
just
tried
us.
and people have failed. We're still clawing our way.
We're still
our
going
way to the top.
To be fair, when you search SpongeBob, holy shit, I noticed that when you search SpongeBob in the podcasting, that's probably just because I'm subscribed to it. The first thing that comes up is watching SpongeBob SquarePants in 2025.
I always have to check that in like an incognito tab to make sure it's not like the algorithm being biased. Things are going to be a little bit different this season. We've kind of organized behind the scenes. I've taken on kind of the role of
Producer?
planning out the episodes ahead of time, and I've kind of gone through and roughly planned out the entire season. So that's one thing to address is a lot of our episodes last season, because 2025 was for some reason the year of Nickelodeon in the modern day.
It was.
We had a lot of episodes that were topical about news stories, things that were dated very quickly.
Very quickly.
Sorry, hold on. For those of you who, I don't think you can actually see our names in the video podcast, but for those of you on the audio or anyone who can't see our names right now, Chester's name, I guess is his full name. I don't know.
Mr. Chester Maxwell Liddon.
And my name is Chester Lynn. I saw that and I thought that was funny. So we are going to shift to kind of leaving news out of the podcast for the most part, and we are going to upload separate, shorter, either updates or discussions when it comes to big news stories that drop.
Which means we can be a bit more on time with those things, because often we were going a week after something would be announced or a game trailer would come out, and we kind of miss the hype of it, which is the point of doing news content.
Yeah.
Is to catch it when it's big.
We'll be able to be a lot more flexible and also have the podcast be kind of more evergreen. Like, people will always be able to find what we're talking about and still enjoy the content for what it is, more so than like, let's talk about this random news story about a Jimmy Neutron movie that may or may not ever happen. Chester will be doing a lot of the editing. I'm gonna dabble in editing, but my technology has been the bane of my existence in the past, so we'll see how that goes. But also, Chester is the more busy out of the two of us right now. So
New book. New book. Where's my book?
book.
I don't have it here. New book.
Is it out? Like, can I buy it?
It's coming out in the next month or so.
Buy the book. Real quick, just at the top of the show, I was going to just mention, welcome to episode 1 of season 2.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be discussing. My microphone keeps. I don't know. I keep hearing this wire knock against something. I'm like, that's going to cause problems. We're going to be talking about Nickelodeon conspiracy theories. And when I wrote this idea down, I think Chester was thinking more fan theories. I made that a later episode. We will talk about fan theories in the future. What I am wanting to discuss today, I'm going to play a little guessing game with Chester here. And it's going to be more about like real world conspiracy theories in relation to Nickelodeon, like the weird stuff that actually
they're involved in the mafia. What was the latest investigation about? Earth Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to save the Earth by printing millions of DVDs.
And then later on, we will be reading some comments. I had a couple picked out. And I'm going to introduce a new concept for at first, I thought maybe this would be part of the podcast, but we've decided to kind of make it a separate series. Kind of something that you guys can participate in related to video games that we are going to... It's kind of a separate podcast, sort of, that's only going to happen once a month. And then I kind of want to... I'm going to start asking a trivia question at the end of every episode and then give the answer in the next episode. Because I'm a nerd and I like trivia questions and I like stumping people.
I've been stumped.
I guess real quick, since this is the first episode back, before we dive in, how have you been, Chester?
I have been pretty good. We've been on Christmas break for work as well, and just come back, and I'm feeling pretty good, pretty refreshed. I have very little time, so the majority of my life is weighing up. Do I do this now? Do I do 12 of these other things now? Do I go to bed at 1 a.m.? Do I go to bed at 3 a.m.? Do I wake up at 6 a.m. to get this other stuff done? Which isn't particularly my favorite thing in the world. So I'm trying to restructure life a little bit.
Pay no attention. Restructure your life.
It's like what's the villain in, I think it's Iron Man, the one with the giant head?
MODOK? He's Iron Man. He's just kind of a general MCU, but yeah, he's very Iron Man.
Superhero squad. But yeah, so doing that. I'm working on my 4th book. I'm trying to do it in as like a month challenge. I'm trying to write the book in a month and then edit the book in another month. So have a book done in 2 months, which is...
And it will be nonsensical.
No, it's good. It's really good. I really like it. I'm 5 chapters in so far, and it's heap fun. It's kind of a bit... I'm not sure if you've heard, but like Hotel California.
I've heard the name. I don't know.
Man, I've told multiple people that, like the Hotel California part, and no one knows it. I'm like, isn't that the biggest song from the Eagles? And the Eagles is the biggest band in the world. Yeah.
I've never heard
2 billion listens.
Who the frick is the Eagles, bro?
I don't know.
I've heard the song name. I've never heard of the Eagles.
They have like
the NFL team, the Eagles.
They've sold like the most vinyls or something in the world. They're one of the absolute biggest, like top 3 or something. And I don't know any of their songs other than Hotel California.
I was about to say, this is news to me, bro. That's interesting. I'll have to look into their stuff.
But yeah, doing that. I've built a gaming system for the living room. I've been playing Majora's Mask, which is...
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in the finale of last season.
I've never played much of Majora's Mask because as a kid, I was really stumped.
Majora was my... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, I like Majora. Majora was my first real Zelda game.
I really like it. I really enjoy it. I never, as a kid, was able to get past the scrub bit. So I was never able to turn back into Child Link.
That's early on, bro.
That's the first hour, basically.
Yeah.
So I was just never able to work it out. Because with Ocarina of Time, they literally point you, like, go here, go here, go here, do this.
Sort of.
So in Ocarina of Time, I was at least able to get to Adult Link. That was as far as I ever got as a kid to Adult Link.
Ocarina is certainly more linear, I would say. But at the same time, I remember... I've never actually finished it, but I remember struggling just to figure out what I was supposed to be doing at certain points. Like, specifically, like, hatching a chicken egg or something at some point was confusing, like, early on in the game.
Harder to draw a conclusion because I have been playing it for so long. Like, there is a degree of, like, I could do the Deku Tree more or less blindfolded, like... because I have played it so many times.
I would certainly argue Ocarina is the more straightforward game.
And then the last thing I've been doing is working on some new YouTube videos about doing a remastered collection of like the main 3 3D SpongeBob games. Working on a video on that and working on putting them on Steam. so that I can play them. And what's really cool is I've worked out I can, rather than having to emulate them on my living room PC, I can have them running through Steam and stream them to the other one, and there is no delay. It is phenomenal. It is so good. And so I can actually, what's also cool is I could record them on this PC while I play them on my couch. Because I work from this desk. I'm at this desk like 8 hours a day. I don't want to be at this desk to also record footage and play games.
Well, that's the thing is I don't really play my Steam games very often. When I'm playing a Steam game, it's usually because it's like work related. That's why I like my Switch, is I can just play in bed. But I've been actually playing my Switch on my TV over there more lately. I've been playing a lot of Katamari. Have you ever played Katamari?
Ooh, that's the rolling one?
Yeah.
The rolling one. I haven't played it before, but I've seen people talk about it.
I really like the first one. The sequels are all right. A new one came out last year, and I got it today, and I don't love it. It's like, it's nice and shiny and new, but like, what I enjoy about the game is just having a time limit to roll up as much as I can. That's not really what this one is. It's more about like, roll up so many items that are of a certain value, or roll up like just very specific tasks. I really just like the general idea of rolling them up. But anyways, I don't got a lot else going on.
Is there much of like a story or anything to them, or is it just like the
There is a story, but it's weird Japanese-ness. Like, it's not really that important. I usually just honestly skip through it because it's just loosely tying the whole thing together. My goal is just the gameplay.
What was that game? It's that Nintendo made. I think their main one was on GameCube, and then it had some 3DS versions. That's the little robot that's quite famous. He's almost like Rob the
Chibi
Robot
Robo?
level of famous. Chibi Robo. I've always wanted to give that a go. I really like that shrunk down.
Do you have
stuff.
If you have the expansion pass on Switch Online, it's on Switch 2.
Okay.
On the
I don't have it
GameCube.
at the moment, but like I played.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I played probably like 40 hours, 50 hours of Grounded. Did you ever have a look at Grounded, the survival game?
I saw it's on sale on the Switch. I've not bothered, unfortunately. I've thought about it, but I don't even really know what the game is.
I wouldn't really recommend it. I played it for, as I said, 50 hours, and it's a finished game, and it still feels like it was when I played it in the beta. Like level of content and level of
I kind of got
things to do.
that sense from it. Like, it never felt like it really came together based on the stuff.
And then there's a sequel. So it's like they're done with the previous one. So it's like, okay, we're just leaving that one as is, I guess.
So, conspiracy theories.
No more banter. Get to the content.
Exactly. Chester, name your favorite conspiracy theory. Go. Just in general.
My favorite conspiracy theory is one that is proposed in a show called The Toast of London that I haven't watched, but my brother showed me a clip of it, which is of the main character super high on weed, stumbling through Hollywood, and he goes onto a random set in the 60s and he sees Stanley Kubrick directing the moon landing. And then Richard Nixon rounds on him and tells him to never tell anyone what he's seen.
So actually, genuinely, like growing up, that was the one conspiracy theory that I believed. Like, I was convinced. Just because it made, like, the evidence made sense to me. I was like, we were in the space race with Russia here. It was Richard Nixon of all people in charge. If anyone would have done it back in the day, I feel like he would have orchestrated that. Yeah. But
I literally saw a picture yesterday. I saw a picture yesterday of like, here is the boot symbol on like the footprint that was left, and here's Buzz Aldrin's shoe. It doesn't have that same print, and I was like, why do we still fucking care? I don't. This is the most American shit ever.
That's right, exactly. And that's what I was about to say. Well, that's part of what I was about to say is, first of all, let me be clear. I do believe that we've been to the moon. And I don't even know that I really believe the conspiracy theory anymore. But my belief was that maybe the first time it was faked just so that we could say that we got there faster. I'm not one of the people who believe that we never went there in the first place and it's impossible to go to space or whatever. Like, that's silly.
I feel like that's just a cold open and a little like that's the first steps to being a flat earther.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's very tied together with flat Earth. So when I was kind of plotting out ideas for this season, I was like, I wonder if there's any Nickelodeon conspiracy theories, and I literally wrote it in tentatively saying if I can find any, if there are any. And I went through, did a lot of research, just found a handful. I've got 4 here, and 2 of them are kind of sort of tied together. They're in similar veins here. But I thought it would be fun to kind of gamify it and make Chester and you guys guess what the conspiracy theory is from a vague framing, like a question. So, and again, these are not the fan theories like, oh, SpongeBob is all about the 7 deadly sins or whatever. It's real world weird stuff. The first one comes from Reddit.
Yay! I love Reddit. Oh.
We love Reddit.
Love Reddit in this house. Go on, tell me what the Redditors have heard to say.
So, this one, not much evidence necessarily, although I did kind of look back at the evidence, and I was like, well, there is something weird going on there. I don't know what that is. So I'll just start by asking you the question. I titled this one Subliminal Messaging. Cut to the thing from the Gary Takes a Bath episode.
Sorry you had to see that.
With the weird German girl.
Okay. I spoke about this in the recent investigation. I think this is going to be rather than like the Gary stuff or anything like that. I think it's going to be dumber than that. I think it's going to be the whole SpongeBob is gay propaganda.
Well, I'm going to ask
it's
a
turning
specific
the kids
question.
gay.
It's not quite. I mean, obviously that is a
that.
conspiracy theory, but it's not quite that deep. It's in 2013, a theory was floated around on forums like Reddit. But I specifically found a post about it on Reddit, but there was other posts about it.
Yeah.
That a popular Nickelodeon show's theme song secretly had subliminal messages layered in the audio. And so the question is, what show do you think it was?
Oh, no, you're right. Yes, sorry, my mind immediately went to SpongeBob because that's fucking stupid. Also, have you seen my new trousers? Look at these new trousers.
Look at that dapper young man. He's showing his chest. Look at his chest hair.
These nice trousers. They're so
he
good.
looks
I have
like a
thrown away
rich
all
man.
my jeans. I am no longer wearing jeans. I'm past that stage of my life. I now wear trousers.
I think
this is Rocco's Modern Life.
I didn't think about the...
Ren and Stimpy is, in and of its nature, Ren and Stimpy is evil. So, Ren and Stimpy, it might be Ren and Stimpy.
That's fair. I didn't think about the semantics of how this is going to work. I recorded me narrating stuff, so I guess I need to share. So yesterday I was on 4chan, X to be more exact, and I found this post. Basically, the post explains that the Fairly Odd Parents theme song has some weird subliminal messages that can be heard at 004 and at 026. Another user claims that this is only the case for the YouTube version, since he has the entire series downloaded onto his computer, and that his version of the intro doesn't have any weird whispers. Now, I have linked the original video, but Nickelodeon might have changed the video since I last checked it, so I have also recorded the video just in case. Did you hear all that? I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents. I don't think about Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to say that. Now, I went and so basically, they think that on Nickelodeon's YouTube channel specifically, when you listen to it, there's like weird little whisper noises. And I went and pulled up they linked to the video. Mind you, I was also going to say, this is, I forgot to do my citations. This was from r/internet mysteries, and it was from user Zen_Turkey. They linked to it. I pulled it up here, and it's from 2013. So this is the oldest one of the bunch. And I want to see if you can, because I kind of do hear something weird. He mentioned it being at 4 seconds and at 26 seconds. So okay. Let's listen to it. See what you think, Chester.
Timmy is an average kid that no one understands. Mom and Dad and Vicky always giving him commands. Doom and gloom up in his room, his throat get instantly. Eyes magic, little fish are grant his every wish. Cause in reality, they are his odd parents, fairly odd parents.
Wands and rings, floaty crowny thing.
Okay. Did you hear that at all?
No! No!
Okay. I can hear the noise, like, especially at 4 here. Like, it's this little warbly sound, but here's the thing.
The kid's laughing?
I was about to say, it's not it's not subliminal messaging. It's sound effects in the background of like the kids laughing. Yeah, it's supposed to be kids laughing, and then later on, where they say it again at 0:24 here.
Wands and rings, floaty crowny thing.
It's him shaking his hand wand thing. It's not.
If these are subliminal messaging, they're very subliminal. I think it doesn't help if I'm missing them completely.
Exactly. And it's like, I've noticed specifically on forums, people have to look into things deeper than they are.
I think it's just the thing about fan bases that get on a little bit in years and either aren't being served content properly, or like the community around them has gotten a bit toxic, where like they run out of stuff to talk about, and so they start hunting for extra things. Because like you see, of SpongeBob now, SpongeBob is gone through its eras of falling off. That's when you see the rise of fan theories and the rise of debate and like all that type of thing.
So it was still very much on at that point. It looks like it ended on my birthday in 2017.
What year was this?
Was the harbinger of Fairly Odd Parents' death. What
year was this theory?
2013.
So that's peak slop. Like that's peak.
Yeah.
Poof and the dog and
exactly. Yeah. Apparently the last season like started using Flash animation midway through, which I had never heard about before. That's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just
a
fun fact I learned earlier this week. I think what you'll notice as a trend is that these conspiracies, like most conspiracies, are pretty ridiculous when you give it
That
any,
means we need to go
any
in
level
with
of
a
critical
different
thought.
mindset, though. We've got to go in wanting to see. We have to go in with the desire to believe the Richard Nixon and Stanley Kubrick.
The Earth is a cube. 4
I
sides.
agree.
It's flat. Yeah.
4 sides?
All 4 sides of the cube.
What, the universe flows through the middle or something?
Yep. Yeah. I know my shapes. I know geometry.
That's what the ice wall is stopping us from getting at. The underside, the upside down.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The upside down. That's what they talked about in I don't think you've seen season 5, but there is actually a whole thing about there's a wall around the upside down that they're trying to get through in season 5.
I'm that deep in the conspiracy theories that I'm uncovering real truths.
Part of the reason I thought of doing this episode was because of the Stranger Things Conformity Gate conspiracy
Conformity Gate.
and all the mass delusion around that. That was wild.
There was part of me that wanted it to be true, because I only heard a little bit. And I was like, if that actually happens,
Part of me did too.
that will reinstate Stranger Things as an absolute landmark show of them doing something like that. Like, that will be remembered forever.
Instead of just kind of fizzling out for most people.
Instead of fizzle. So.
Again, I liked season 5. Kind of seeing their writing process. They didn't even have a script for the finale done when they went in and started
I heard about
filming.
that, yeah.
That's kind of a common practice in Hollywood these days. I don't think that's smart for a show that's been going on like 9 years. So I don't know. But that's besides the point.
It's also especially not smart if Netflix is like, oh, also, we're advertising this animated series that's coming out after it that's like a tie-in thing, and we want to do more shows. What you're learning that with Game of Thrones. They can come out with House of the Dragon that's amazing, and then whatever this new one is, and no one cares. No one talks about it. If you stuff it up once, people don't come back.
I've seen some stuff, but most people are like, oh, another one. But I've heard it's supposedly supposed to be good. I don't know.
Well, the first season of House of the Dragon was apparently... Yeah, I've never watched it. It leans a little bit too far in that gross realm for me.
That, but also I'm just not really a huge fantasy person in general. Like, I'll
get it.
dabble in Lord of the Rings, but it's not really my thing.
Nah, baby, Aragon.
Aragon? Holy crap, dude. When I I remember my dad rented that movie when it came out, and this was like pre-streaming. He rented it on TiVo, for any of you who know what TiVo is, and we watched it together. Neither of us had any clue what was going on with it. He was like, I don't know why I paid for this.
Yeah, no. I only ever heard about, we own some of the books. I've never read them because the books are like that thick. But I knew them in our circles because it was written by like a 15-year-old homeschooler. The entire series.
Oh, that explains why it didn't make any sense.
That's the movie. Don't you dare just...
I'm joking. I've heard the books are supposed to be better. Next up, the hidden meaning behind the name Nickelodeon. In early 2024, ahead of the release of the Quiet on Set documentary, a theory online made the rounds that the name Nickelodeon had a secret, sinister meaning. What do you think they claimed the name Nickelodeon meant?
Well, Nick, Saint Nick, Old Nick, is a term for Satan. So I think it is a satanic connection. Nickelodeon. I think Redditors think about these things.
Yeah.
That's my...
Well, this one's not from Reddit. This one's just in general, like, social
Shit.
media.
Okay, am I warmer or colder?
I would say you're kind of warm. I don't really think you're going to get it. The questions are really more for the fun of the game.
Okay.
There's no prizes at the end of the day. So, I can't ship you a trophy or well, I mean I could, but amid the news that a number of child abusers used to work for Nickelodeon, a number of social media users have pointed out that when you type Nick Calo Deo into Google Translate, it means I don't care about God in Latin. Essentially, the conspiracy theory is that the kids' TV channel purposely picked
So
a
I just
name
write
with
in a
that
different
subliminal
word,
messaging.
a different thing, and it means this, so of course I just write in something completely different, and it says this.
It's NICKELODEO, and like those are three separate Latin words that apparently, if you put it in Google Translate in a very specific way, here, hold on, let me finish the audio clip. This ties to the wider theory that Hollywood is run by satanic elites. Taking to X, one person wrote, "If you want to indoctrinate a nation and control it, start with their kids. You can test this using Google Translate. Set the language to Latin and write it exactly this way. It must be lowercase. Nick Calo Deo." Nick Calo Deo. You can run, but you can't hide, said another. While the third added, fun fact, Nickelodeon, if you change it to Nick Calo Deo, means I don't believe in God. I don't know what that means, but it's strange. As highlighted by the first commenter, however, the translation looks very different if you capitalize the first letter. Instead of I don't care about God, it says God bless you. Another flaw in this theory is that we already know the real meaning behind the name. Nickelodeon is a reference to the first 5-cent movie theaters called Nickelodeons.
Oh, Nickelodeon. Yeah.
Nick Calo Deo. Latin. Nickelodeon in Latin, if you make sure it's not capitalized, means
I just don't understand.
I
who
don't
is coming
care
up with
about
this
God.
stuff. Because
The internet.
So it was this sounds like old white Christian women, but I know
Yeah.
that's not old white Christian women that are coming up with this. It's
Yeah.
it's the Redditors, it's the atheists. They're already
It's the people who were like all up in a tizzy over all the Dan Schneider live action Nickelodeon crap.
which I mean most people should be. Like it's
Yeah.
fucking disgusting. But this is big Karen energy, okay? Or what's the new one? This is big Jessica energy, okay? Tone it down, please, for the love of God.
Oh, I keep forgetting to cite my sources. That was from that article excerpt was from Daisy Phillipson, Dexerto, March 15th, 2024. You're not gonna like the next one much more because it's also similar. Okay, logo symbolism.
I thought we were doing like mafia involvement or something fun like that. Or
I did what I could find, man.
They gave money to an administration to stop to
They did.
some
They
bill
gave it to
not
Dan
turned.
Snyder to abuse children.
No, he was on the island. No.
Okay, here we go. Similar to the last theory, in early 2024, in relation to the Quiet on Set documentary, social media users began to spread the idea that the modern Nickelodeon logo had a secret nefarious meaning and was supposed to be shaped like what?
Nickelodeon logo. Is it supposed to be shaped like a state?
Um,
Perhaps?
it-
Or a
it could
cross?
be. It depends on which. Go ahead and share your screen real quick and show me which logo you're looking at. I'm also realizing that the audio I recorded was a little bit too quiet. Yes, that is the exact one that we're looking at here.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah. So I would assume that's probably meant to be like, oh, it looks like a cross. But it could, I don't know what American states look like. It could be like, oh, this looks like a state. But it's got the bubble off to one side. I'm going to just say, continue with the idea that they're all stupid, that it's a cross.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Oh, wait, no. It's a cross turned on its side, which is technically satanic.
While the docuseries was positively reviewed by audiences and critics alike, many viewers who grew up with the channel have been left in shock by these horrific revelations, realizing the programs they've always loved were created in distressing and hostile environments. In light of the docuseries' popularity, several unsubstantiated conspiracy theories based on the uncoverings have begun to fly, with one in particular gaining more steam than the others. Yes, many viewers are now taking to social media to claim that the iconic Nickelodeon logo is actually modeled after Jeffrey Epstein's island.
I just made the joke as well. I just made the joke.
I gotta keep it together when you said it. It was so.
Some people need to have. I think we need to limit iPad time for some people. I think we just need to have a state level iPad time limit.
Oops. So I thought briefly.
It is similar. It is.
We're gonna cite our sources here. Hold on. Here, I found this Instagram thing.
Yeah, so there's the Nickelodeon logo, right? And like the perspective I've got, I don't have a full top down, but you can almost see there's that little nub out there.
I think it's just the way that the camera is taking this picture. If you look at a direct bird's eye satellite view of Epstein Island, I mean, it's pretty much the Nickelodeon logo.
Jeffrey Epstein had his hand in Nickelodeon, Chester. It's real. Epstein Island Nickelodeon logo. Did he? P. Diddy was in Fairly Odd Parents, Chester.
I'm sorry, I don't know the connection. I don't know the connection. And this is a fun family show. But why is P. Diddy now entirely interconnected with Jeffrey Epstein in like every? I've been seeing clips of like
have you not followed him?
President that got snatched by the Americans. I saw a clip of him waking up into the Skyrim thing, and he looks over and he sees Epstein and he sees P. Diddy, and he looks over and Trump's sitting in the front.
It's
like, oh, you're awake.
P. Diddy was accused of basically being very similar to Epstein, but in the music industry.
It is quite distressing the amount that we have had to talk about this subject for for a kids podcast, like a kids focus show thing. Like, it is deplorable how interconnected.
Was Seema Zargami in charge of the live action stuff? I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here.
I thread a very thin line with all the Seema Zargami stuff, where I'm like, I need to make sure this is not suable, because in Australia we have no protections.
That's why I'm making.
I actually, to be fair though, I also haven't seen because I never watched any of the live. I hated and had no interest in any of the live Nickelodeon shows. I never watched Cat. I never watched like
Victorious,
any of those.
iCarly, Sam and Cat, Drake and Josh.
Yeah, I haven't watched Quiet on Set just because it had no relevance to me. But I
haven't watched it either, actually. Which it had a lot of pertinence to like my child. I mean, I grew up watching iCarly and Drake and Josh and Victorious and all those shows, and I guess it's just I don't want to associate one of my favorite brands with all that crap, even though I know what happened.
It's a tricky thing. But it's a tricky thing because you don't associate any of it with what's his name, Dan Schneider. Like you had no idea who he was or who he existed. He was just a name that popped up on a thing. So it's a thing of like I don't think you need to like. I don't feel like it's the same argument of separating art from the artist. If you had no idea who the hell the person was, they've always been disconnected from the show and the image for me. It's a bit different if it's a person that was very actively on the show, and also it's different if you're that involved in it personally, like it's one of your favorite shows and all that, and you find out that the actors in it were being mistreated, then that's a different thing. Once again, I haven't seen it. I don't really know.
I will say there were conspiracy theories for years about Dan Schneider, like lots of stuff tying to like Zoe 101. Before any of it was proven, everyone kind of thought something's off about this guy. And then like years later, this documentary comes out and kind of substantiates everything. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it. I don't know if it paints Dan Schneider specifically as the perpetrator. I know there were other people involved, like it was a whole network of supposedly there was multiple people involved in the bad stuff. So like when I was looking up conspiracy theories, a lot of it was tied to Dan Schneider specifically. So I didn't really look at ones that were him specifically, but there was a couple on here with the just fans making stuff up about the meaning of the name and the logo. Oh jeez. And then I have one last one here that is my favorite of the bunch. And I've known about this one for years, and I've never really had the opportunity to share this with anyone. I'm not gonna tell you the title of this one because it's part of what you're trying to guess. In late 2019, users on a 4chan thread were discussing conspiracy internet icebergs when one anonymous poster dropped in to say something along the lines of, "You guys aren't ready to have this conversation," accompanied by an image of the traditional iceberg image and one line of text at the very bottom of the depths. Users scrambled to understand the meaning behind the text. What did the text say in this image?
I'm going to go left field. No, everyone is very aware of the Helga mother alcoholic stuff. So the idea of Hey Arnold being like dark isn't shocking type of thing. Mamma Mia. I don't think it's going to be Invader Zim. I don't think it's going to be Hey Arnold again. I don't think it's going to be Fairly Odd Parents again. Chalk Zone.
Chalk Zone. It just says Chalk Zone? Okay.
Chalk Zone. Chalk Zone's bottom of the iceberg.
He's logging in. We're not ready to have the conversation about Chalk Zone, you guys.
Guys, Chalk Zone shit. No!
All right, so I'm going to start by revealing
Show me the picture.
the image here, you guys. I don't think you guys are ready for this.
What do you mean by that?
That's what everyone was saying in this thread.
Yeah, I'm not ready to have this conversation because it's...
Yeah. You're not ready to have the biggest guy broke protocol. So for audio listeners...
It's all capitalized, so I'm guessing protocol is...
I should point out this is a recreation I made.
Okay.
I recreated it because I couldn't find the original thread anymore. But for audio
I too
listeners...
hate Callisto Protocol.
For audio listeners, Callisto Entertainment, Callisto Protocol, biggest conversation, protocol. It all connects. Okay, for audio listeners, it says Big Sky broke protocol. Someone who did some digging to find out what this guy meant by this commented on this thread or whatever, and this was what he figured out. He unraveled the mystery. Oh shit! Quick rundown on Big Sky broke protocol. Shitty game devs spun off from another game studio going under, I think. Made some shitty games. In one of their games, they have a bunch of files / code / whatever that allegedly is non-compliant with reality's code, i.e. breaks protocol. A literal universal syntax error. Unsure if it... Fuck, dude.
You diminish anything you were going to say by saying they made some shitty games or whatever or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but... Okay, hold on. Hold on. A literal universal syntax error. Unsure if it... Fuck, dude. Unsure if it was intentional or not. If intentional, they were way ahead of their time, and were some of the first people to crack into the 5th Aeon. Most likely just a random mistake on their end. Playing the game messes with your active reality bit by bit, accelerating third eye awakening, etc. Delving into the code and files, or playing too long, is likely to get you removed. Most common side effects are deja vu, lucid dreams, sudden awareness, and minor glitches. Due to lack of popularity, it's not really a problem, and those who do dig too deep are removed anyway. Shit, I was removed! Rumor has it, it's one of their 2 released games, although it was most likely Terminal Code, a horror survival game. Although a lot of people think it's Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius due to how unsettling the game was.
Reasonable.
Okay, guys, so just to recap here, this person said Big Sky broke protocol, and this other person came in and is like, oh, this was a game dev. They made some shitty games, and in one of their games, they have a bunch of files and code that are non-compliant with reality's code. So it breaks protocol of reality, and it's a universal syntax error. They aren't sure if it was intentional or not, but if it was, they were way ahead of their time, and they were the first people to crack into the 5th Aeon.
I
don't know what the 5th Aeon is.
Just
I don't
write
know.
actual normal fan fiction.
I don't know what the 5th Aeon is. I didn't
Write a
look that
book.
up. It was most likely a mistake. Playing the game messes with your active reality, accelerating your third eye. And if you delve into the code or the files of the game, you get removed. I don't know what that means. Have I been removed? Am I in a different reality right now? Are we in hell?
It's reasonable. I mean, you do have a Pac-Man machine behind you, as well as a... Is that Tarzan?
Tarzan?
Poster in the far back?
The ball?
No, he's got a sword. Oh, is that Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Signed by the voice actor. Anakin's up there too, but he's in the back.
Not real. Not real. I'm just sitting here talking to a computer.
And the most common side effects of playing whatever this game is that Big Sky made was deja vu, lucid dreaming, sudden awareness, and minor glitches.
I'm not consistently aware, only partially. I need to play me some SpongeBob.
Well, I'm assuming they mean like,
aware.
oh, we're in a simulation, and suddenly I'm aware of the fact that we're in a simulation or something.
Having a Neo moment.
But because the game's not popular, it didn't really matter that much. And the weird thing is they cite Terminal Code. That game was not released. It was never even made.
I was wondering if that was just like
concept.
a buzz term or something that they were saying. Oh,
No,
this
that
is
was
Terminal
a
Code type of thing.
Terminal Code was a game that they were going to make after SpongeBob, when they still thought that they were going to be around after SpongeBob.
Poor bastards.
And yeah, it was supposed to be a horror game. There's actually, I know that
cool.
It never got past the dev document phase. Like, I think they worked on the engine for it. I happen to know that a dev document for this game does exist, but I do not have it yet. I know where it is. I don't know how exactly I'd be able to get it. I was only able to get the other dev documents that I got because of COVID. So I would probably have to travel somewhere to get access to this. But I would like to eventually look at this dev document and see what this game would have been.
It's a cool title.
But it was never made. So I don't know why he's citing that as one of the 2 games they released.
Maybe he's suggesting that like there was some of the assets or something was in there, and like that's
Yeah, I don't know.
the game breaking part because it's got a cool name.
So, years back, when I was still like actively like googling, trying to figure out like, ooh, who's talking about my video and stuff like that, I randomly came across this random forum thread talking about this, and I was like, did I start a conspiracy theory somehow? Because most of this information comes like, as far as like terminal code and stuff, there's not a lot known about terminal code. I don't know. But then another person followed up under that guy's post and kind of called him out a little bit. Let me pull up the other. I didn't record.
Hopefully
this
someone
one,
would.
but-
Hopefully it's
Yeah.
not all just 4chaners.
Well, he's also a 4chaner, but someone put the Nick games ? So another anonymous user said, just did some personal research. Most likely the person who posted the picture was bullshitting. There's a person that did an entire documentary on Big Sky Interactive. Spoiler, no mention of Big Sky broke protocol. And he said, X is just full of pathetic LARPers. So I think X has something to do with 4chan, because I noticed in that
Is it like a
Reddit post,
subreddit equivalent type of thing? It's
I
like a
guess,
group.
because in that other Reddit post, he mentions at the beginning, I forgot to point it out. He said, so yesterday I was on 4chan, X to be more exact. And when I heard that, I was like, wait, X didn't, like, it was Twitter back then. So I was like, what is X? And I guess it's something to do with 4chan. But yeah, so I found that back in the day relating to my video, and I died laughing.
Impressive.
Like, I kept thinking about Big Sky broke protocol for years. I even posted a creepy short one time of the Patrick from the tech demo. I posted a short with the picture, and in the corner I wrote, Big Sky broke protocol under it with creepy, like, distorted music. That was all the conspiracy theories I could scrounge up on with given the time. Maybe in a couple years' time, after all the conspiracies come out about like how Mark Hamill killed the original voice actor of the Flying Dutchman, and I think we
He
need to
wanted
just
that job.
we need to spread disinformation. We need to come up with our own
We
conspiracy
do.
theories.
I've been saying this for weeks, months even. Doing a little bit of spreading of misinformation.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's our job at this stage. I think people are starting to trust our voice, our opinion, and hence we need to abuse that.
What did you think about that? All that.
Last one was definitely fun. I prefer that to the island ones. That's good. That's good. They're all just so dumb. They're all so dumb. They're all so stupid. And what irritates it, I find it irritating because all these people think they're so smart.
Yeah, exactly.
think
Their
they've
third
cracked the
eye has been
code.
opened by playing Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
I've played Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, the whole thing, and I can assure you it does nothing.
Your third
for
eye
you.
has been opened.
I've been more locked in. I can see better. I can see further. My render distance has increased from the typical 12 up to 16. You plebs just wouldn't understand.
You're generating more chunks at a time in Minecraft.
The chunk generation with third eye it feels like Optifine basically.
I told Chester before this, I was like, man, I can't wait to record this episode. It's gonna be fun. I was dying laughing. I left in some of my laughter in that last recording. I was dying trying to record some of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
the idea I have for this other show that I want to do this season, at least, I'm calling it Nick Arcade Club. And the idea is basically like a book club, but for video games. Not really a new idea. I know other channels have done that. But I want to do it specifically with Nickelodeon video games. And the idea is going to be at the beginning of each month, I have a random selection tool. I went and found as many Nickelodeon games as I could find. And the only ones I really left out were like Ren and Stimpy, because I don't think you or I care to play any Ren and Stimpy games.
No.
There was maybe one or two others, but for the most part, I got every Nick game I could come up with. And so we will pick one and then play it throughout the month on our own. And you guys can do that as well. You can emulate it, or if you own the game, that you can do that. Not that I would condone piracy in any form whatsoever. You definitely shouldn't. If you can only emulate it if you have your own ROM that you have dumped yourself, right, Chester?
I have. You guys can't see just because of the camera shot, but right here, you listen to this. Yeah, you hear that? Right here, I have my ROM dumping station. So I have ones for my N64, so it's the little system that sticks down. I've got the CD-ROMs over here, and it loads right into my computer. I have the different
And you own basically every Nickelodeon game that has ever existed. So you're set.
I'd say I probably own about 80%. I own a fair chunk.
I think you'd be surprised, because I also included like different versions of games. We're also like, we could get stuck playing the GBA version of.
I'll say I own 80% of PS2 and onwards Nickelodeon games.
We'll get stuck playing the GBA version of TAC 2 or something.
Shit.
So
at least we get it done in a day. Those games aren't long.
I have the wheel up here, and then
bring up the wheel.
At the end of the month, we will record an episode. I don't know if we should do it like as a live stream. I haven't really sorted that out yet, but I thought it would be good to select the game that we're going to start with here in the first episode. And again, you guys can play the game throughout the month as well, and then join us for the discussion. And it will be a good old fun time. I'm going to pull up the wheel so you guys can see that I'm not cheating and just picking whatever game I want.
Oh my gosh, guys, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. First roll, we got it. Yes!
So, I guess I will just click and spin here.
That's a lot of games.
I'm scared. There's about 100-something, 150-ish. And that's like Nick games total. I was actually surprised there aren't more Nick games, to be honest with you. But that's also including like each port, like the PC version, the GBA version, the DS version. But here we go.
Oh, we're in the Rugrats section. Nicktoons Globs of Doom. Yeah.
The console version. That's one of Chester's favorite games. I've never played it, so that will be interesting. That's gonna.
I haven't played it in a while. It's a short one. It's only like 4 or 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it on? PS2?
I've only ever played it on Wii, but it's on PlayStation 2. All that type of stuff.
I'll probably try to play it that way. But yeah, guys, so join us at the end of February when we will be discussing Nicktoons Globs of Doom. So play it for yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the list so it cannot be selected again. And
no.
We're about an hour in, so it's the first episode. We'll run a little bit long because we had to address certain things. I don't know if you had any comments that you were particularly interested in looking at. I had a couple that I thought were worth reading here. We're calling this segment, we've already talked about like comments from readers, like we've called it that before, but I'm calling it letters to the editor. And I've discussed maybe setting up an email so that you guys can actually write in letters. I have not done that yet. We will circle back around to that in a couple episodes and see if I've set that up. And that's not to say like we will only read emails, because like who knows if anyone's even going to email. But if we get a good email, we'll read it. And
or good fax.
I got my fax machine loaded up back here. You can't
right
see
over
it,
here. Just here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hear it? It's my fax machine.
We had this comment from the Lemonades on our on the finale of last season when we were discussing the SpongeBob movie. And
yes.
I'll just kind of read here what they said. They said, OMG, finally, you guys took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you for recognizing those scumbag grifters who are creating a completely false narrative around this movie, and thus causing the legitimate, mostly very positive reviews to be silenced. The nuance surrounding SpongeBob talk online has forever been damaged after Steven Hillenburg passed away, and it's just something that a large majority of fans, the same ones who stopped giving a fuck 15 years ago because they grew up and don't want to admit it, will never be able to accept. Here we have a legitimate good SpongeBob movie after the train wreck that was SOTR, Sponge on the Run, and
Oh,
now,
yes, absolutely.
and now this is somehow nothing like the SpongeBob we grew up with when it was directed by Hillenburg's first mate from the series' inception, Derek Dryman. This is a long-winded way of me saying that listening to you guys, who are super level-headed and genuine, made my day. From one SpongeBob fan to another, you guys, Goofy Goober rock.
Hell yeah.
So
We do Goofy Goober rock.
I agree.
I will just say really quickly, I wouldn't put it as, the scumbag grifters and all that. And the false narrative. I think you need to consider it of more like the internet is now built around rage bait and that type of communication. I think it's less of an attempt to create a narrative and more, it's an easy target. And
I think it's both.
Thing to quickly make something.
No, I think
it's
they're
an
definitely.
intentional
I think there are
attempt
people
to
who
tear
are
it down.
intentionally grifting. There are the people who are trying to sit there's a whole narrative that this movie is bad for kids. You shouldn't let your kids watch it. It's inappropriate. Don't watch it. And it's just random, a bunch of random people recycling the same crap, the same thumbnails, the same narrative, and it's nonsense. They're just making stuff up. And like you said, it's rage bait, but I do think they're grifting, and I think it's intentional. A lot of the ones I've seen do feel intentional to me. I could be wrong, but there was a reason I called them grifters in that episode. And I also agree.
But what do you think is the line exactly of where it is just rage bait and then into grifting?
I think certain creators know. I don't even think it's rage bait. I think they know that the general consensus online is that anything SpongeBob sucks now, and I think they can use that to get engagement.
So you think it's grifting if they are trying to play into the common sentiment and not... Whereas I would say it's rage baiting if the common sentiment is positive, which is that the movie has been received relatively positive, and they're trying to tear it down. That would be what
and
I
I
would
don't
say
think
is
that I don't
rage
think
bait.
that's necessarily what's happening. Although that could be part of it. I think that they see the general like I said, people don't generally like SpongeBob. I think they are trying to use that to their own benefit, because I saw people making up stories about people, swaths of people, entire crowds of people walking out of theaters during this movie and everything.
Yeah.
And it's
But
they're making
I don't
stuff up.
understand. I can't go an inch. I can't walk an inch without running into someone that thinks the new seasons of SpongeBob are the second coming of Christ. I can't. I can't go anywhere without these fuckers popping up and be like, "Oh my god, it's the best." How could you ever say? And I was like,
See, I don't see a lot of that.
Which is the common sentiment? Which is the common
I wonder if it's because we're in the space that we are on YouTube, because I don't see a lot of that. I mostly see hate for it. I agree with him about how Steven Hillenburg's passing kind of changed the conversation.
Well, it was weird because in that before
he's
he
rolling
passed,
over in his grave.
Yeah, well, that's what we talked about, isn't it? But before he passed, season 9 was considered this renaissance. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, season 9 is actually really good." And
Well, he had come back to the show, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he came back to the show, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is actually season 9 was probably the best season since season 4 or 5. It was really quite good." And then he passed, and then there was a real steep decline.
Yeah.
But I think and then there was the Super Bowl stuff that was
Yeah.
that got into this phase of being a little bit gross the way that we.
I think
anyway.
People grieved him. They started weaponizing that grief and his name to be like, I think when they start doing the spin-offs, especially like when Camp Coral and the Patrick Star Show were conceived, everyone was like, no, you can't do this. When they started really pushing SpongeBob more and more, the conversation became Steven Hillenburg always hated selling out and brand deals, and he hated fast food, and he would never let SpongeBob be at a fast food place, which is just not true. I've heard all these different things, and it's like, you are making stuff up, and you're saying it about a dead man who cannot speak for himself anymore.
And there's realistically very little resources of Steven Hillenburg. Like, there is very little of him in general. Like, it's not like he was in the podcast age where he's appearing on podcasts and so there's interviews, but like it's not like he was a podcaster where you have swaths of information to draw his opinions on. Most of it is old and out of date. Like, it was his opinions and what he was saying during like the movie and like prior SpongeBob stuff. So it's even more deranged, I think, to be like, I know Steven Hillenburg's opinion so well that I can like, it's gross.
Yeah, but this movie is making him roll over in his grave because reasons, I guess.
Well, he was rolled over before because of Camp Coral, and now he's facing up
he
again.
keeps rolling over.
He's happy.
He keeps going back and forth. He's really tossing and turning down there.
He's like a coin. You flip it, one side's angry, one side's happy.
He just can't rest. They keep ruining his beloved creation.
Stop shaking the casket. Stop it. Both the fans and Nickelodeon, both are at either end. Just like...
So we were talking about the extreme end of the grifting and the hatred of all things SpongeBob. And now I have a comment that you've already read from your most recent investigation video as of recording.
I've gotten to a stage now where I'm like, before I comment on anything, where I'm like, do I want this brought up in a podcast episode? Because it will be.
I wasn't necessarily going to read what you said. I already wanted to just read what he said because you know. But that was true early on, especially in this podcast. I was always going back and finding comments.
My little crash outs.
Yeah. You posted a new investigation about SpongeBob's Last Stand. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I remember it. I did not remember it was an Earth Day tie-in. So kind of that was kind of a learning experience for me, actually. Because I remember when the special came out, but I did not know any of the background about it. Jedi the Scribe says you were kind of specifically talking a lot about like the idea of it being a tie-in. You were a little harsh on the episode, but I mean I think it was deserved.
I ended being quite positive on it, but I was harsh on the messaging because the messaging kind of compromised the early show. I enjoy the special. I like the songs are great. The special as a whole is pretty good. The Earth Day tie-in stuff is just a bit silly. SpongeBob's always been a nature focused show.
And that's not what this comment's about. I was just thinking about that. Yeah. But because he says, I think you're being unfair here. You're basing your assessment of modern SpongeBob solely on season 5 through 8. Season 9 and onwards, I have seen a change. They have dialed back on the overly violent or gross humor. In the postmodern seasons, specifically 5 through 8, and they are relying more on nostalgia, bringing back old characters, which I don't like. We talked about on this channel, I don't like the way that they're so self-referential.
They haven't toned back the violence, it's increased. There was barely any violence in the season 5 through to 8.
I haven't watched. Referencing older episodes and making sequels to older episodes, except not really because they're still not in the continuity with the older episodes. Understand you swore off newer SpongeBob, and I don't know why that's in quotes. But I feel it has affected your judgment because you think all the new seasons are like seasons 5 through 8 when they're not. The show has changed, and I'd say in a mostly positive way, even if the nostalgic callbacks don't always work as well as they could, since they don't actually go all the way with it. I don't think they should go all the way with it, and have these episodes be in the continuity with the older episodes. SpongeBob's never had continuity. SpongeBob should not have continuity, and I think that's the problem, personally.
This comment is dumber than when I first read it. Damn, it's even worse.
You're like, I don't have to... I won't read your whole comment, but you were like, dude, I love those seasons. They're great.
Yeah, I don't know where to go. If I was basing my opinion on those seasons, I'd have a very wildly positive season.
You said that you don't need, like, you said that to say they're horrible, you don't need to keep testing, like, watching new episodes to say, oop, yep, still shit, and then come back later. He goes, I assume you're the guy in the video. Well, I humbly disagree.
Oh, is he coming back? I didn't see.
He said,
I don't get notifications.
This is one area where we don't always get notifications about replies.
Yeah, we only get for like first comments. We never get replies.
Every once in a while, like we got a reply from writers that I got a notification for, but I don't normally get them from other people because writers said on our last podcast episode, he said the movie was the biggest nothing burger he'd ever seen, and I was like, I saw like it, and he was like, he didn't have any feelings one way or the other about it, I guess. Which writers, I know you're watching. You're wrong. I love you, writers.
SMH writers having a different opinion than us. How could you? How could you do this?
And this guy humbly disagrees with you. This is one area where we will not see eye to eye, and it doesn't seem like I'll ever convince you, and you'll never convince me. So let's just leave it at that. Bro, you're the one who commented. Okay. I mean, you're the one trying to change.
I haven't even started trying to convince you. Like, give me a shot. You're stupid. You're an idiot. You didn't listen to my opinions at all. I love those seasons. You're mistaken.
Well, I responded to what you said, and I said, for the record, we will be testing on the podcast next season. And that was in reference to you saying I don't have to go back and test.
I don't want to test
because on the docket for our schedule, I have an episode titled "Is Modern SpongeBob Really as Bad as People Say?" Basically, is the concept, and I want to go back and just watch some episodes from the most current season and just see, like, have a discussion about it and see, like, because I've never watched Modern SpongeBob.
I've seen Tom the Cat
clips. I do remember Tom the Cat. I have seen that episode, but I'm talking like modern.
Kenny
and
the
I've
Cat,
noticed.
That was it.
I've noticed how Kenny the Cat. That's right. I've noticed how much the art style has changed in the stuff that I've seen recently, and I don't love it. It's a little too cartoony, if that makes sense. I don't know. And
everything's
then
very bulbous.
When I said for the record, we will be testing on the podcast next season, the guy responded again at Who Needs Normal. What's that supposed to mean? Well, Mr. Jedi the Scribe, if you would watch our podcast, you would know what that's supposed to mean. So. But I have a feeling he's just some random guy who got recommended your video about the special. So yeah, we got a whole...
I rarely crash out, but
rare.
It is like, and there was one other person. There was also one other person that I think on that video that just completely misunderstood.
I think people often
the entire
just
take on the
entire
previous investigations. They've been fairly good. Yeah, someone Eric M dash 112.
Okay.
He said, "Are you suggesting every year SpongeBob does an Earth Day special?"
Yeah, I did see that too. I was like, no, he didn't say that. Okay, I don't know. They did it one time. I don't know, but as my cousin was saying during the whole Stranger Things controversy, not to keep bringing it up, but media literacy is dead. Nobody seems to understand how to properly interpret what they are watching. Speaking of my cousin, at Pladley Haha says, videos like this make me wish SpongeBob was real. But yeah, so we got a full slate of podcast episodes. We're gonna record another one after this, but I planned ahead this time, guys. We're prepared. I have lots of ideas, and I think they're gonna be very fun because I'm gonna be able to make Chester do ideas that he didn't want to do originally because he put me in charge, so it's his own fault. To close out the show today, we'll maybe chat for a minute, but I want to ask a trivia question.
Yeah.
And the trivia question that I have, I'm starting a little bit easy, and I want to preface this by saying, don't look it up, guys. Like, genuinely answer the question from your own knowledge, even if you're just throwing out a guess. Comment down below.
If you're right, you'll get bonked.
If you
no way about it.
Exactly. If you're right, then you
get in
cheated.
trouble.
No.
and we'll
I just
humiliate
know-
you on the podcast.
Someone's just gonna Google it, even if they don't know. It's an easier question. I know the answer. I've known the answer for years. I don't know. I also wonder if Chester even knows the answer. I would think that you would, but I don't know for sure. And the question is, what was SpongeBob's very first appearance in a video game? Comment down below. Don't cheat. Do you think you know in your head, Chester? We'll answer it in the next episode, but
Yeah. Right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
thank you. If
you
you're sick of
season
hearing my
2.
voice, blame him.
No.
Demonetized.
You have to take that off you.
Going up to Scooby-Doo and following Blue's Clues, looking at Cosmos, breaking all the rules like Hey Arnold. Yeah, that's my shit. Getting home Cartoon Network on the binge. Silly, yeah, I guess so maybe when